Welcome to This Explainer. We're diving right into a mystery that literally dictates almost every single aspect of your life. You know, you can think of your conscious mind as the struggling hero of your story. It works so hard, it sets all these ambitious goals, and it desperately tries to steer the ship. But beneath the surface, that's where the real power is. It's the hidden operating system of your mind, your subconscious. In this explainer, we're going to completely unpack how this underlying blueprint actually works, and much more importantly, how you can actually reprogram it. Okay, let's dive into this. There is this profound, relatable frustration we all feel, right? You spend your whole life trying to consciously change while the operating system beneath your awareness remains entirely untouched. We set a goal, we try so hard to force a new habit, but we almost inevitably slide right back into old patterns. Why does that happen? Well, it's because we're only talking to the surface level. We're completely ignoring the massive, invisible operating system that's just humming along right beneath our awareness. So here is our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the hidden operating system, its four primary languages, the gateways to access it, and finally, rewriting your inner blueprint. And I promise you, by the end of this explainer, you are going to have the exact tools you need to update those underlying beliefs. All right, section one, the hidden operating system, analyzing versus building. To fix any system, we first have to really understand the specific role it plays in the background. And this brilliantly illustrates the fascinating dynamic between the two parts of your mind. Your conscious mind, that's your logic engine. It's always analyzing, rationalizing, and thinking in words. But here's the kicker. Your subconscious mind doesn't care about your logic at all. It speaks through patterns, emotions, symbols, and experiences. So while your conscious mind is busy overthinking everything, your subconscious is acting as this silent architect, just quietly building the absolute blueprint of your reality based on what it actually feels and experiences. It is staggering to realize that every single part of our existence passes through this invisible architecture. Just think about these fundamental areas of your life. This operating system shapes your foundational beliefs about what is even possible for you. It drives those rapid-fire daily decisions that you don't even consciously think about. It literally constructs your relationships, and ultimately, it creates the reality you experience every single day. There's just no way around it. Which brings us to section 2, the four primary languages. If we know the subconscious is running the show and we want to program it, we've got to stop using conscious logic. We need to start speaking its native tongues. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how directly our daily experiences translate into permanent code. The subconscious learns through four primary languages. First up, repetition. When you repeat a thought or behavior, your subconscious translates that to, hey, this happens often, so it must matter. Second is emotion, which it translates to, wow, this felt important, so remember it. Third is symbols and imagery. Basically, this points to a deeper truth. And finally, state, meaning whatever I repeatedly experience in this particular mental and emotional state becomes a permanent part of me. Moving right along to section 3, gateways to the subconscious. So now that we know the languages, how do we actually access this system to type in new code? Well, there are 13 incredible access points, or gateways, that let us bypass conscious logic entirely. Let's look at the major categories. The first category revolves around our daily, repeated inputs and our deep emotional moments. These are the absolute most constant programmers of your inner blueprint. Through repetition, your repeated thoughts literally become your beliefs and behaviors become permanent habits. The subconscious just accepts what repeats. To it, familiarity equals reality. And emotion? Emotion is the ink that writes deeply into your memory. Moments of profound love, fear, or joy are etched into your blueprint long, long after the factual details fade away. Next, we have the gateways of imagination, dreams, and symbols. Because your subconscious thinks in imagery rather than words, symbols act like this powerful bridge between the conscious and the unconscious. Your mind uses imagination to actually practice the future before your body even arrives there, which, by the way, is exactly why visualization is so incredibly powerful. And every night, that conversation just continues. Your dreams reveal hidden fears, unresolved emotions, and these brilliant creative insights, while your logic engine is finally asleep. So the crucial point is this idea of pattern interruption. Your subconscious mind essentially runs on prediction, right? It just wants to keep predicting the familiar. Therefore, true transformation requires the familiar to abruptly stop. When you experience a crisis, a sudden breakthrough, or even just a shockingly powerful question, you interrupt the pattern. The mind suddenly loses its predictive footing and becomes completely 100% available for change. Let's look at how physical and experiential shifts can completely bypass logical resistance to rewrite our identity. Breathwork, for example, is wild. Literally, a single change in your breathing changes your physiology, which shifts your emotional state, and bam, your subconscious is ready to process new beliefs. Music and rhythm bypass analysis entirely, unlocking memories you honestly thought were gone forever. And peak experiences, like moments of profound grief or deep love, they can actually reorganize your deepest assumptions about the world in an absolute instant. The greatest relationships don't simply make you happy, they make you aware. I want to pause for just a second to let that powerful quote land. The truth is, absolutely nothing exposes your subconscious programming faster than another human being. Our closest relationships are not random at all. They're actually perfect mirrors reflecting our deepest emotional wounds. The people who trigger you, who inspire you, or challenge you, they're revealing your hidden expectations and core beliefs about love and abandonment. Remarkably, your subconscious often specifically chooses partners who activate your unfinished emotional lessons. It's literally giving you an opportunity to finally become conscious of them. And here is another fascinating gateway: storytelling. Just contrast facts with stories for a second. Facts inform, right? Statistics and logical arguments are easily met with conscious resistance and are forgotten so quickly. But stories? Stories transform. A narrative bypasses your resistance completely because it activates emotion, imagination, meaning, and identity all at the exact same time. Your subconscious remembers a story far, far longer than any logical argument. This brings us to our final section, rewriting your inner blueprint. Now that we understand the system and the gateways to access it, we need to shift our focus from just observing the system to actively taking control of it. But to rewrite the code, we first have to acknowledge who wrote it initially, and the roots lie in childhood conditioning. The first few years of your life shape your core blueprint, because, as a kid, you absorb beliefs before you have any ability to evaluate them. You inherit emotional patterns long before your critical thinking develops. This means that a lot of what we proudly call our personality is really just early adaptation. It was programmed long before we even knew we had a choice in the matter. Let's move to and see how this builds into an incredibly empowering realization. The beautiful truth is this: what was programmed unconsciously can absolutely be rewritten consciously. Your operating system is entirely updatable, provided you use the right tools. So here are the practical steps to actually do it. Step 1. Use meditation. When you quiet the mental noise of your analyzing conscious mind, the subconscious finally becomes audible. Step 2. Observe. As those buried patterns, automatic reactions, and conditioned beliefs start rising into your awareness, just watch them. Remember, you cannot transform what you refuse to observe. And step 3. Utilize the gateways. Use repetition, emotion, visualization, breath work. Use them to intentionally rewrite your operating system. When you commit to this work, the stakes are absolutely monumental. When you change the subconscious mind, you don't just temporarily change a few passing thoughts. You fundamentally change the person who is thinking them. You are literally stepping into an entirely new identity. I'll leave you with this final, provocative thought to take with you today. If your subconscious is the blueprints of your entire experience reality, what is your daily repetition programming it to build right now? Seriously, take a close look at your repeated habits, your repeated emotions, and your repeated thoughts. Because right now, in the background, your silent architect is listening, and it is building exactly what you tell it to. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope you feel totally empowered to start rewriting your code today.